I've been playing this game for years, and I've watched Reddit, I've watched Discord. One of the most frequent things I see posted to both Reddit, Discord, and even in clan chat is, what team can beat this? Who do I have that can beat this boss or this wave or this stage? There's a tool out there that can show you that better than a lot of other people can, better than one person's view or three people in a chat. Let me bring that to life in this video. Hey, before we go on, click the link in the description right now and you can get the great legendary poisoner, Narma, along with 3 epics. You get Anax, Mausoleum Mage, and the best epic in the game, Uugo, as you progress. All you have to do is follow 4 steps. Step 1, log out Play and Play on the PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid, complete the tutorial. And step 4, go to your inbox, Narma's there waiting. These 4 free champions will give you an insane head start in raid, so click on that link before it expires. All right, go to HellHades.com and check out the optimizer there. You have to create an account. It's free. You can do it on the mobile and you can do it on PC, so it's friendly to both methods. And if you pay, you actually can see more detail. But on the free gear swap time periods for raid, which they do once a month now, HellHades opens up all the paid features for free. So I'm going to show you with the cheapest paid membership what I can see. So if you follow along with this video, just do this type of stuff during the free gear swap weekend time periods, and you can see the exact same thing I see here. No difference, for free. So what am I talking about? Let's say that you want to find a team and you're wondering who you have or who would be best, and you're thinking, I'm going to go to Reddit or I'm going to go to Discord and I'm going to post. You only get a few people who answer that. So let's come into here and say, if I come into HellHades, I'm in the optimizer, and I've picked the team optimizer setting over here to the left. I might be in the way. Team optimizer setting to the left. And once I click on that, I come in here and I can pick any area of the game that I want to take a look at. So I just pulled up the Doom Tower Rotation 3 hard and looked at stage 90 for Bommel, because that's a lot of things people struggle with. And if I just click on here and say, hey, find me a team, what it does is it looks at the champs you have and says, who are the fastest teams, if that's what you have selected over here, that have beat that content. Alternatively, you can look at number of variations as the sort, number of battles, lowest turns, win rate, as just other filters you could use. So sometimes if you just want to be faster than everybody else, so for a turns battle, or if you're just trying to beat, get the best in the clan records, then you can look at fewest turns. I'm typically looking at fastest. So this is the fastest teams I could build for Bommel 90. So 12-second stage 90. I should build that team. That's faster than what I have built for my account. That's faster than the speed teams I just showed. I guess most of you tune out if I show that type of stuff. And now there are filters over here you can use. So anytime or more recently, this doesn't really matter to me. I usually just leave it anytime. However, I will switch to fewer time periods if champs have been, or if bosses have been nerfed or buffed. So when they did the Hydra changes, I would start using that filter. HellHades might reset it at that point, actually. Success rate, you can filter this up. Give me only teams at 100% if I'm running dungeons. If I'm running Doom Tower and I don't care if I have to rerun the key a few times, then maybe I throw it back to 75% or even 50% if I just want the easiest team I can build. Maximum duration, I've never really done. Number of battles, I will filter this up if I want somebody that I know is reliable. So if I'm trying to look for a dungeon team that I want to run all the time, like spiders, well, then I might put that to 100%, and I might put this to 10 battles and make sure I get a team that's got some history to it. If I'm doing Doom Tower like this, where I really don't care, I might only put 75 and 1, because maybe they only ran it while they built it, and then they only showed it one time. And then number of victories, similar to number of battles, actually, to me. But you can actually set either one of those. Maximum terms I've never used. Now, champion exclusions. Let's say that I don't want to use Newt in this team because I have Newt built for certain content. If you come in here and you say, hey, I don't want to use Newt, then you can come to excludes champions and you can put in Newt, and you can actually pick Newt, hit apply filter, and it will only give you teams that include Newt on the team. Alternatively, if you put must include, so now I'm sorry, I'm only getting champs, I'm only getting teams that have no newts in them. So you can exclude 1 or 2 champs, or you can include 1 or 2 champs that you want to make sure are in the build. So I have used that frequently if I'm trying to build a team around a certain champ, or if I know there's a comp I'm trying to use. If you don't know, then just leave those blank. And then you can actually switch it to be a certain faction, which allows you for if there's certain faction content that we're doing, so sometimes challenges have to be from a certain faction, or you can do it from a alliance as well. So if they're doing one of the events or tournaments from a certain alliance, you can pick that. You can, I don't really ever use exclude locked champs because a lot of mine are locked, or unbooked, because I guess you could do that if you're afraid that they're booked and these champs will be booked. I have done epic only before, but mainly it's because I'm doing YouTube content. I'm not sure why I'd really care if I was just you building a team. Same for rare only. 6-star ascended only can be helpful though, so it's not pulling in champs that you just don't have built, like 2 niche shacks on here. Only one of my niche shacks is built. So if I put 6-star ascended only and put apply filter, you'll see that the 2 niche shack teams are going to drop out of these Bommel 90 suggestions. So now I'm not getting 2 niche shacks. Exclude manual teams. So if you're trying to build something that you want on full auto, you can put that on there. Just be careful if you're doing something like Hydra, because you'll lose a lot of good teams, but it is possible. And then show solo teams if you want to run content like a dragon dungeon and you can see solo. So those are the filters over here that are really helpful. Now the next thing is when you come in here to look for is I've got it sorted by fastest. And at this point, I don't have any restrictions on number of battles. So you'll see teams with 1 battle. Just be careful. So a team that has 13 battles 100% is far more reliable than a team that only has 1 battle and 100% on it. So if I wanted to farm Dark Fae, then I might not want a team that has 1. But if I'm doing Bommel and I only want to do it once every 3 months, then maybe a team that's only done it once successfully but did it in 28 seconds is worth taking a look at. So from here, what I tend to pay attention to are these champs that I'd actually want to use and build. So I wouldn't put this 6-star ascended only if I'm looking for champs that I might want to build a fast team. If I only want to use champs that I have built, then I would put that 6-star ascended back on. I guess be careful because you may have a level 50 that would work in content. So if you put 6-star ascended, then you're going to rule out your level 50s that are built too. So you do have to decide. So sometimes I'll just see what's in here first and I'll just skip past teams that are there that I don't want to build. Like Thor's not built for me and second niche shack's not built. So maybe I just skip past those. So I'm looking for champs that make sense to me. And this is what you can see. This screen looks the same whether you're free, paid, and whatever time period it is. So you can see champs that are there. The next thing I might do is let's actually pick something that isn't Bommel that would be more applicable. So let's say that I was looking for I wanted to make a faster dragon team and I was doing hard stage 10 and I just wanted a faster dragon team. And I put in search for that. And I do want a team that's 100% because I don't want fails. And I want a team that's got some history to it. So I'm going to put in 10 and I'm going to apply that filter and say, all right, give me the good teams. So now I'll come in here and say, well, this team's fought 27 battles and did it in 25 seconds. It's just a powerful Marius. Oh man, Marius is crazy. And then you've got Renegade Seer to clear waves. You got 2 newts and you've got Lamassu to reset skills. So that's a pretty reliable team. So what you can do from there is you say, well, if this is a team you wanted to build, forget that this is kind of a crazy team, but you can go into variations and say, actually, let me pick one that has multiple variations to it. So Marius Solo, 32 teams doing that. That's pretty funny. And I'm going to pick somebody that there's a lot of 1 variation teams in here. Let me find one. All right, this is a good example. So you've got a Renegade Seer and a Ghostborn. Ghostborn has an irresistible decreased defense, so it never fails to land. You've got Seer to kill wave 1, Renegade resets, Seer kills wave 2, and you got 2 Stultus at the boss. That's actually my Dragons team right there, actually. Not sure if I use Ghostborn or not. Maybe I do. But there's 59 teams that do it. So you can come into variations and you can see. The fastest teams will be at the top because it's still sorted by speed. And if you scrolled all the way down, you'll get people who are doing it in 1 minute and 5 seconds, 1 minute and 4 seconds. The other thing you'll see during the free periods, I don't think you see this if you're not paying the cheapest membership or it's a free period. I see all the speeds here. So one thing I would do is when they have the free gear swaps, a lot of people go in and improve the gear on their teams. I would also spend time doing this. Are there teams I want to go see if they're faster teams out there? Because I can come in and see all the speeds, and I'm going to show you something even more powerful with the stats. So I can see, all right, 2 Stultus, Ghostborn, Renegade, Seer. I can then view the team and actually see, all right, they got 31 victories, 100% win rate, and duration is 28 seconds on average. I can see what gear sets they have. By filtering, Defiant, Stone Skin. I can see the blessings they have, Brimstone, and I can see all the stats, the masteries, and if I show all, I can even see the team settings. So if you're posting to Reddit to say, hey, what team should I use? How do you have a better answer than this, where you can see every single team that's been run on the database, pulled in from all users that have been playing the game while they had their optimizer open, and you can see which teams were fast. You can come in and during free gear times or lowest paid membership, you can actually see the speeds, the builds, the masteries, and the team settings. I mean, that's a crazy amount of information. Now, there's a few watch-outs in here that I pay attention to. You don't want to just come in here and say, oh, this team did it in 28 seconds, so can I. I do have to look at these builds and say, well, wait a minute, what blessings did they have? So this one had a 6-star awakened seer, and she had 353% crit damage with 500 accuracy. That's a well-built seer. So the question is, if your seer doesn't have a 6-star awakening and these kind of stats, can you still wipe out that wave or not? If you can't, then your time might not be as fast. By the way, your seer does not need to be this good to clear the wave of dragons. She can actually do that with far less stats. But I do look at that as how strong is the champ build. Now, in this one, it's a seer. And the rest of these guys are barely awakened, and so is everyone else. So the awakenings aren't bad. What I'm more careful for is, I'll show you like an Amius team. I've seen Amius teams beat Amius in 8 seconds, but they're using a 6-star awakened Crushing Ren champ. If you don't have the 6-star awakened Crushing Ren champ, you're not going to do it that fast. It's just not even possible. You'll wipe. So you've got to pay attention to, could I build champs that look like these? So Defiance and Stone Skin, it's only 3 pieces of Stone Skin, so it's not a full 4, but they've got some Defiant pieces in there. Those aren't sets that are really important. I know that by playing the game, but you can look at that and say, all right, I got a shield champ for Renegade. That gives another buff for Seer to strip, so maybe I need a shield champ on my Renegade. Everybody else is just speed and perception, and she's sitting there in Savage and Cruel. So I can look at what builds they have, and are those either builds I think I need or I don't need, and if I need them, do I have them? The ones you got to watch more about are like regen sets on champs where they would die otherwise. Somebody who's got 6-piece Slayer or 9-piece Slayer and you don't have that same build, that champ might do more damage. And then I'll look at the speeds in here and say, are these speeds I think are realistic for me? Well, 100 speed Stultuses are pretty easy to build. A 282 speed Ghostborn, he doesn't need to be that fast. He just needs to be faster than the boss and faster than Seer. So you can look at the speeds, and I do look at the order. Ghostborn goes first, Seer goes second, and then Renegade will reset those 2 at the next wave, and they'll go again. The 2 Stultuses really are just there at the boss to be hit, because then the poisons reflect to the boss. So I look at the speed, so I can see the speed order, the turn order for those champs, and then I'll look at things like resistance. Did anybody bring big resistance in? So none of these guys are using resistance to resist the boss. And accuracy, Ghostborn actually has enough accuracy. He actually doesn't need it, funny enough, but they have it. And Seer has enough accuracy to strip buffs. In this fight, you actually hope she never needs that because she's just going to kill the waves anyway. But I do look to see, do they have stats that I think I need? And then I can look at those masteries when I'm building my champs. And I can look here and see, are the champs booked? And do I think those books are important? And which skills did they use when I set up my team settings? So that's the information that's on this screen. That's a ton of good information to use. Let me go find another example. So I brought up Shogun's Grove, stage 25, and fastest teams here. And you can see the fastest team does it in 6 seconds for the champs that I have. And this is against teams that are doing it in seconds. 6 seconds for this team. But if I go in and look at that team, they're using an Elder Scarg with 6-star Awakened Crushing Rend. I'll guarantee you, if you don't have the 6-star Awakened Crushing Rend, this comp will never work in 6 seconds. It's built around that champ doing that kind of damage. So Riho's got to get the debuffs out, and Elder Scarg can do some serious smack. So, and he's also in 6-piece Merciless. So if you can't get that kind of a build with that Awakened Champ, you can just look at this comp and go, all right, I'm going to skip past that one. Those 6-second fights, those 6-second ones are requiring Krutraxa, Turvold with 6-star Awakened Crushing Rend. Now, Little Miss Annie with 6-star Awakened Crushing Rend. They don't have a filter on here that says what's the most powerful Awakened. I've suggested that to them. Hey, give me a max Awakened Champ here. If I don't have 6-star Awakened Champ, I just can't even do those. So I would tend to scroll down here and say, all right, give me an 11-second team. Now let me look at variations. I'll flip in there and go, all right, 6-star Awakened Newt, 5-star Awakened, and he's got Soul Reap. All right, Soul Reap means he's gonna go and kill the boss, but if I've already got 30, 60, 90%, I only need a 10% Soul Reap. So I could actually do that with a 4 or 5-star, a 4-star, I believe, actually, Awakened Newt and get the same damage. So he's only got a 1-star Maria. So I'd look at these teams and say, that's pretty doable on the Awakenings. Now I can look at the speeds and the damage and say, do I think I could get anywhere near these stats to see if this is a more possible fight? So that's one that would be doable for me. But if this is you and you don't have those same champs with those levels, then you can scroll down and say, well, let me get a slower team. And you can keep scrolling down here and say, all right, show me somebody that's not as fast, and maybe I get more reasonable builds for my type of an account. So you can get down to the 30-second teams and say, what do I have here, and do I have those kind of champs? You can look at the 56-second teams and say, all right, I've got all these rares and a Mithril and an Ishak, you know? So the farther you scroll down in times, the easier the teams are gonna be to build. And then, as I said, if you're going during a lowest paid or a free gear swap, you can come in here and just look at the speeds real quick and see if those are crazy or not. So that's it. That's really all I'll show you. Boy, if you're going to Reddit, once again, and you're going to Discord and you're posting your roster and hoping a few people can help you, come here and see what the entire database tells you of what teams have been the fastest teams for any content for you. I hope this was helpful. If it was, I'd love a like and subscribe, and I'll probably post this link in the future to people who keep asking those kind of questions. Have a great day.